Hello everyone, this is Inspired Tuesday number 95. Because our team at Icon Dental Center believes that starting the day motivated and inspired sets up the rest of the day for success. We bring quotes to our morning huddles and it has been so positive to our team that we decided to share it with you and hope to motivate and inspire you as well. Today the topic is avoid negative domino effect. Okay, we all had a day that started bad. We either get a parking ticket, you go to work and oh my God, things are not looking good. And then your mood shifts to the worse and you start to feel overwhelmed. And after that, no matter what happens, it almost feels like everything is not doing good. Right? It's very important at that point to bounce back. So I have in here 3 tips to help our team and you to avoid negative domino effect. I'll talk about 2 tips, bring 1 quote, and then 1 more tip. Enjoy. Tip number 1 is use perspective to bounce back. Okay, perspective is not only a good tip to avoid this domino effect of negativity. It's a great tip for any situation you're going through in your life. Okay, yes, it is bad. You got a parking ticket, but you could have been in a car accident, which is way worse. And okay, there are some people going through war or starving. They don't even have food to eat, you know. During war, they're losing their houses, loved ones, and yet you are feeling like your day is over because you got a feedback from your boss. You know, like look in there and balance that. Things can be worse, and if those little things are gonna affect your whole life, that's hard to go through life like that. You know, you're gonna have to see it as a big picture and use perspective because you're gonna have to bounce back, and that's a great way to do it. I had a patient that I really love, and she was going through a really hard time not being able to walk because she had a foot infection. And you know, she was devastated. Like everything was dark. My life is horrible. And I was like, you know that if you had this situation in a different country, or you know, in a country that, like, you know, there's not medical or it's a war situation, you would have lost your foot today. At least you have a foot. And guess what? Today, a year after, she's walking, she's traveling, she's doing great. But, you know, perspective was really important for her at that moment in her life because she was seeing everything dark. But her foot was still there. Yes, it was bad, but it could have been worse, and that really helped her, and it's really gonna help you if you see life and you bounce back by using perspective. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is focus on what you can control. Yes, this sounds like a cliche, but I promise it's true. And I brought it up over and over again in different situations. But in here today, for example, you cannot control the weather, right? And if you're gonna let the weather ruin your whole day, then that's bad. I live in Seattle. It rains a lot. So we're gonna have to not focus on that. You know, do other things that you can do while it's raining. That's the best thing you can do. And you cannot, I know that at our work, our culture is 0 tolerance for gossip. But I don't know where you work, and sometimes that happens. Gossip between coworkers. Again, you can control that. You cannot control what the president tweets. And if it's gonna ruin your whole day, that's also bad. What you can control and focus on is your mindset. Yes, it's hard to deal with when people are gossiping, but you can control how you feel and for how long you feel like that and how you interpret that. You know, maybe, sorry, it's a losing mentality. You know, just let it go. And the other, you know, I mean, a losing mentality for the gossipers, that's how you should be thinking about it. These are things that you can control, is like your mindset and how do you react to things. You can control your work ethics. You can control your health. Yes, because, oh, I feel a back pain and that makes you ruin a day. Or I gained weight and now your summer is destroyed. Or your whole day is destroyed. You can gain weight, you can lose weight. So focus on your health, on things that you can control. Yes, you can hit the gym, you can eat healthier. Those are the things that you can focus on to try to avoid something to ruin your day. Because you can always work on what you can control, and that's gonna solve, you know, the problem of you being into this negative domino effect. That's very important. Many other things you also can have control over is your language. Like if something you say and the way you say things is really hurting people or affecting the way you communicate or the way you grow in your life, hey, then you gotta work on your language, right? Those are things you can control. And what else? You can control your kindness, how kind you are, and then you're gonna get more kindness back. So literally, if you can focus on the things you can control, it sounds like a cliche, but it's really a great way to not let your life be ruined by that moment, because you can control your mindset as well. A quote from Anthony Liccione: worrying is like a dominoes effect that rolls from one day into the next, into a week, a month, a year, never accomplishing anything but stress until it hits the last tile, which drops unfulfilled to an empty ground. Tip number 3 is don't generalize your problem. I don't know about you, but I've heard it many times of someone coming to me and saying, my whole day sucks. Okay, getting a parking ticket sucks, but the whole day sucks is generalized. There's no need to add more drama and commotion to things that is not necessary. And it happens a lot, and it almost feels like it's a high school thing that goes on in our lives, right? Because it happens a lot in high school, like, oh, everybody hates me, and it's usually one person that don't like, and a month later they already like each other again. So try to not let the one problem, don't generalize it. I'll give an example for at work. If a dental assistant is not good at taking x-rays, she goes, oh my God, I'm really bad at things. I don't know how to do things. If that's how she thinks, that's bad, because you're not bad at things, you're bad at taking x-rays. You're doing great at the fillings, you're doing great at the crown, for example. I'm just giving here a random example. And it's very important for leadership and parenting, because for me, leadership and parenting is pretty much the same thing, for you to empower the people surrounding you, for example, your kids or your team, or anyone you know, even as a friends, for them, because you're on the outside, for you to make them see if the problem is generalized or localized. I have this language at work. When something happened, I'm like, is this localized? Means, is this only in one department, or is like, boom, a bomb that is exploding? 99.9% of the time is just a localized problem that can be solved if you just focus on that one thing. And most everybody tends to make it sound like it's way bigger and way worse than what it is, because it's generalized. Like, oh, things are bad. What is bad? And then you go in, when you pinpoint the problem is one thing that is bad. So that's really a helpful tip as well, for you to not generalize your problem. And I hope you like the topic and the quote today. And let me know, do you have a hard time to bounce back on a hard day? Leave me a comment below. And if you also have any topic for me to talk about, I'd love to talk about your topic. And by the way, the topic today was is a request from one of our audience that is asking, like, how do I deal with like one problem so I don't let it go, ruin my whole day. So I got those 3 tips in here. Of course, there are always more tips that we can talk more, and leave me a comment below. And if you haven't done yet, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our pages on Facebook and Instagram at Icon Dental Center for more Inspired Tuesdays. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.